What's up, y'all? It's KB, and I've been watching a lot of movies. I'm doing a October challenge where I'm watching double features recommended by you, fellow horror fans out there. This past week, I've had a couple of movies that I got in, including from our favorite double feature podcast, Mika and Kira. They recommended 4 movies to me, and I'm going to tell you about each one and how I saw them and what I thought about them as far as overall review and also a comparison. So starting with Mika, the first movie that she recommended was 2005's The Descent. This is one that I've seen before, haven't seen it in quite a while, probably since it was first released, and really good movie. It's one that I picked up. There's one that I actually really want to get, but that's hard to get your hands on. Anyway, The Descent, I wrote it down here. Group of women embark on a caving expedition, but things take a horrifying turn when they become trapped on the ground and discover they are not alone. I'll just hold back a little bit from this plot synopsis that I have here. But anyway, this is one that just deals with just psychological trauma, and you have the terror and you have the feeling of being trapped on the ground, and of course you have the style of the unknown and how that can be horror in itself. So strong female characters in this one. It's one that I'm glad I had an opportunity to return to. Compare that to the other movie that I watched. She also recommended 2019's The Vigil. This was the first time I was seeing this. And this one is about a young man. His name is Yaakov, and he's asked to be a shomer, which in the Jewish faith is a person who watches over a deceased body before it's buried. And he keeps vigil overnight in a dark house, and he becomes haunted by things that he experienced overnight. So it takes place in a short time, but the atmosphere here is very enclosed, and you have kind of like moments where you don't know what's going on, if you're dealing with reality or something in his mind. And I really enjoyed it. I have to say that something like this where you're dealing with religious types of entities is something that's new for me as far as experiencing, but it was a refreshing tale that coming from a source that I don't have a lot of experience with when it comes to terror and horror movies and all that. So I like the freshness of it, and I like the approach. The acting was okay as well, but overall I really liked the movie. And I think it took place in Borough Park, Brooklyn. So a little bit of a New York shout there. As far as commonalities between these two movies, there is that element of isolation, whether it was them in the cave or Yakov being a shomer for the night and he's in the house with the dead body there. Just having that atmosphere of being closed in and kind of caught up. I mean, he couldn't really leave. It was his job to stay there. That played into a lot of things that really made it a terrifying environment. The other thing is psychological trauma and things such as grief and guilt. So they both dealt with that in different ways. If you've never seen The Descent, the first 5 minutes you get into why the main character is going through guilt and grief and everything. And of course, throughout the movie in The Vigil, you find out what is Yaakov's guilt. So I like these themes, and very, once again, claustrophobic, whether it's in the cave or in the house with the dead body, very atmospheric, claustrophobic environment. So I really like that. And of course, you had supernatural elements to them both in some way, form, or fashion. I am not giving away either movie, so you'll have to watch and find out. But this was a very good pairing between the two. So shout out to Mika. Happy belated birthday. Once again, they celebrated their birthday this past week. It was a great opportunity to coincide with their birthday and watch these movies as a review. For her 2 picks, Kira chose once again, a movie that I've seen and one that's new to me. She chose 1992 Sleepwalkers, Stephen King adaptation, and also 2021 She Will. Directed by Mick Garris, Sleepwalkers follows a mother-son couple, and they are shapeshifters new in town, and the son is pursuing a young lady. The reason why is soon revealed, and how the mother is involved in it, and how it affects the town and everything. Great special effects, a great supernatural horror movie. It has 80s vibes. For early 90s movie, it still hangs on to a lot of the 80s horror elements that we're used to seeing, but it's a fun movie and it was fun to revisit it. Directed by Charlotte Colbert, we have She Will, and it's about an aging actress well past her prime, and she's recovering from mastectomy surgery. So she goes to this remote retreat, and there's other people there, and she has her own nurse. And the place where she is has some ties to the past that's pulling her, and it has something to do with witches. And I watched a lot of movies about witches this week, but she starts to have visions and ties into her past and everything. This was an interesting watch. It was, once again, a psychological horror movie and very interesting, almost like a different subgenre of its own that I've never seen before. Nice cameo by Roddy McDowall. He was in there as well. And it's a bit of a slow burn, but I did enjoy it. By the time the credits roll, I was thinking, yeah, I really like this movie. As far as commonalities between the two, as I mentioned, there are supernatural elements in both of them between the shape-shifting and what takes place at the retreat in She Will. There is a bit of a revenge motif in both as well. I don't want to give it away because they both have major ties into the story. And then, of course, there's transformations that you see in the shape-shifting in Sleepwalkers, and there's also some type of transition that takes place in She Will. But I really enjoyed all 4 movies, and I want to thank the Doubles for doing that. You could check them out on the Double Feature podcast as well as here on YouTube. So I want to thank them again. Keep watching. I'm going to have more reviews. I'm going to see how many I can knock out while we're here. Once again, I want to say belated happy birthday. We had a great time when they came on a conversation, about 2 years ago. And if you want to check out that, just go right here. You could just watch the whole thing. Watch a movie.